About 2 weeks too late, but still better late than never. Nikola Jokic has emerged in the NBA as his own special unicorn talent, surpassing, if not surpassing, but playing to the level of Karl-Anthony Towns and Kristaps Porzingis and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Part of the reason why he falls slightly by the wayside, even in a time where there's no excuses for this to happen, is he plays on Denver. Mm-hmm. If he played in any big market, any mid-market, any playoff top 4 seed, he'd be probably the most talked about center in the league, because Nikola Jokic is nothing short of the real deal coming over from Europe. Another example of just European players growing and becoming better, especially at the big man position, and not infiltrate, that sounds like a negative way, and being welcomed into the National Basketball Association. Francis Maxwell. There were a lot of people drafted before Nikola Jokic. So the 2 cards. The first one, it's the Andrew Wiggins draft, the Jabari Parker draft. That's how I got Jabari's name, Jabari Parker there. Joel Embiid, Aaron Gordon. These are fine. These are fine picks, but there was this big gap. And then second round, 41st overall, the 2014 NBA draft, we move to the next card, is the one and only Nikola Jokic. And also some other good players like Jeremiah Grant, Glenn Robinson III, and Jordan Clarkson all the way at the bottom. But 41st overall. He spent an extra year in Europe, came over, didn't think he was going to play his first year. He was like, I lost like 30 pounds. I didn't think I was going to play. And now he's playing, and now he's super fun to watch.
You want to expand this game beyond the borders of simply the United States, because that's how you get to a similar status of a World Cup that will grab a mass audience the way that the footballing world does, because it's not as fun when one team is consistently winning. It's not as fun when you remove 5 to 6 all-star players from a team and they can still go and win gold in the Olympics comfortably. Because the United States are very good. And when you're a US fan, you're like, we want to win, man. Always winning. But for the sport itself, it's good for competition. So, Kristaps Porzingis, Nikola Jokic. Who else am I blanking on?
Think about it. Porzingis, the Latvia, Joel Embiid, Cameroon, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Greece, Nikola Jokic.
It's a new wave of talent that, in their own way, are almost unique. Like his brother was given. I think it was deemed as an insult, even though Kendrick Perkins is one of the players that you would always want to have on your team, so aggressive and hate to lose.
Yep.
But they're like, his game resembles Kendrick Perkins. He's not as talented, but he hate to lose. So it's funny because he has all these fundamentals that I think makes him unique, but he's got that main thing that has to be present in any player that wants to make it in the NBA. He's just so ambitious and he's fearless. And I think, in given the right environment, there's no reason why this guy can't emerge to be a phenomenal talent in the
Absolutely,
NBA.
and he actually has. So one of the things that I find fascinating about Jokic is he's up there as one of the best passing centers in the league, and he's actually just clowning on guys because he has this court vision, which it's more unique than that of even Antetokounmpo, Porzingis, Embiid. Like how they're mostly Porzingis and Embiid, how they're succeeding is their ability to hit the 3 ball, right? Really stretch the 5 to places where it's really never been before. Anthony Davis was a part of that movement too, if you will. On top of that, Embiid and Porzingis are more pure scorers, right? For the big man position, off the block moves. Joel Embiid does the dream shake. Porzingis does sky hooks. Like, we see them even, like, their influences.
Yeah.
Right? With Jokic, he's just has this, and this is a crazy, I'm not making the comparison, but that LeBron ability to make the pass that you're just not expecting, right? So he's throwing passes between his legs, not to be fancy. Yeah. He's putting them between his legs because he knows the size of his body. He's using his body to distract and block vision from other players and defenders. He's setting screens in an off-ball movement that I guess we see more in European basketball than we did in the NBA. And the effect is tremendous on the Nuggets. They're going to be pushing for that 8th seed with a lot of young talent included. So the article, which I did find interesting, from Bleacher Report, Jokic is the brightest star and impressive first generation of post-war athletes from the former Yugoslavia. There are 17 former Yugoslavian players in the NBA, more so than North Carolina can claim, UNC. Among the new group, though, of other players that we haven't mentioned, aside from Porzingis and Embiid, Mario Hezonja, Croatia, Dragan Bender, Bosnian Croatian citizenship, top 5 picks. Dario Saric, Croatia, Nikola Vucevic, Montenegro, double-double machine, Goran Dragic, Slovenia, and Jokic. It's great. This is why, first of all, part of the reason I find that the YouTube audience is starting to really love the NBA is because look where all these guys are coming from.
Yeah.
This is a world football effect. When you talk about world football, there are players coming from everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? In every league, there are players in the French league that are from Argentina. There are players in the Argentinian league that are from England. There are people in the English league from China, and it's awesome. And the NBA is starting to kind of break out in that way, and we're finding these unbelievable talented players with a different style of play, and Jokic has brought that with him. He's not the first to do it. He won't be the last to do it, but he's one of those unique potential all-NBA first, second, third team guys to really transcend the sport.
And I love that they brought up the point of Yugoslavia. Like many people overlook the fact of the horrendous split that took place, and basically a country that was once united under a charismatic leader, and after his death, Tiro's death, it suddenly started to become fragmented, and many people were grasping for power. So you think about it in terms of Yugoslavia were silver medalists, I believe, and that was at the 92 Olympics.
Right.
Like, what a phenomenal accomplishment that was for a country that wasn't considered to be a home of basketball. So you imagine if that country was to have remained together at that point, and everything was to kind of continue to progress forward, they probably would have been consistently developing more and more basketball players because the sport was becoming more popular because it was right there. If you perform well in an Olympics, people will want to build from that and get better. But as we all know, things started to take a different shift, and countries became split, countries became independent. I don't need to enlighten you on, obviously, the war that took place, but it was shattering for a lot of people in that area, and people had to migrate. I've got friends of mine, one of my closest friends, who's a Bosnian native, came to England to live, still holds ties to Bosnia and goes back every year and loves it, but a lot of people scattered to try and find refuge in any sort of place. So I know it's weird to think about that in terms of sports, but it will completely devour that system that's set in place, because if you're starting to build a reputation as you're developing some players, and then all of a sudden things like shit hits the fan and everything starts to become detached from what your core outlook was on sports, that's probably the least of their thoughts at the moment. We need to keep developing basketball players, but it's good to see now each country kind of finding their feet and having a representative, because it only takes one.
Yeah, they're all getting it's becoming. There's a big number of just all-star talented, and all you need to compete with pretty much everybody not named the USA is one, like you're saying. In Olympic basketball and world basketball, you just need one. One last stat for you. He is the Jokic on pace, joining only Wilt, Kareem, and Barkley as only players to average 16, 8, and 4 per game while shooting 58%. And his stats since January 1 is only matched by those of the most elite players in the game at the 3, 4, or 5 positions. So it's not like the numbers aren't backing up the play and the style and everything about it. All right, comment below, like, favorite, and subscribe. The Nuggets primed with Jokic and guys like Jamal Murray, Kenneth Faried to be a serious contender in a couple of years, maybe next year, some splash in free agency, or does Jokic go elsewhere in a couple of years because
everybody wants to win?
Lakers, Anthony Davis, Jokic, Westbrook, all together. That's what there was a Bleacher Report thing about that.
Wow.
Comment below.